Hey everyone, welcome back to Ragtag Stacking. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about getting your silver stack started. Now, if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know that I've been doing this for a little bit. You know, I got started, the channel at least, is close to a year old. It was in June when I started. And I had picked up some silver a few years back. My buddy was telling me about it. But he wasn't into stacking or anything like that, and he really didn't know why. He was just like, oh yeah, buy some silver because of Brexit. I'm like, why? What do you mean because of Brexit? And I'm like, well, because Brexit's happening. I'm like, okay, so why should I buy silver? Because of Brexit. So that was kind of like a circle, you know what I mean? He didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't really have knowledge of it. So hey, why not buy something? So I just bought a couple of bars of silver and kind of forgot about it. He forgot about it too. He didn't really follow into it, and that's probably why I fell off back in 2016 as well, is because he was the one that introduced it to me and then kind of not really talked about it. But then back in 2019, late 2019 in December, I'm not sure what I was searching for on YouTube, but I started getting recommended these silver stacking channels. So I clicked on a few, and it started making sense. You know what I mean? It wasn't just somebody saying Brexit, man. You know what I mean? It was actually telling me why silver stacking was a good option, and it made sense to me. And if you're watching this video, it makes sense to you in some way. So that's what I'm going to do with this video, is to hopefully tell you some things that I went through and some things that I found out when getting my silver stack started that might benefit you. So the first thing that I want to talk about, even before buying your first ounce or setting a budget, setting your strategy, is you're going to want to make sure that you have a secure place to put your metals. You know what I mean? You're going to want to have, it's not going to be like putting cash into a sock drawer or anything like that. You'll quickly notice that this stuff adds up. You know, you're going to be buying the physical silver. It's going to be obviously heavy, and it's going to be quite a fair little footprint. You know what I mean? So you're going to want to make sure that you have a secure place to put this stuff. Now, if you're younger and everything like that, and you're in college and you happen to be sharing a house with people like roommates and things like that, it might not be the best place to be storing your stuff. You can't control who's going to be coming in and out of that house at any time. You know, one of your buddies could be having 6 people over or whatever, and if you happen to mention to your buddy, oh, I got a shipment of silver coming in, just off the cuff. I'm not saying you don't trust your buddy, but he could just offhand mention it to one of his buddies, and then he could just offhand mention it to another person, and then it gets to a person's ears that you might not trust and you might not even know. And the snowball can get rolling like that. You know what I mean? That's not the most secure place to be having any precious metal, even if you have a safe there. So a situation like that where you can't really control the security of the house itself, then it might not be the best place to be storing your stuff. So if you are a younger person and you have a roommate, or you're in college, I'm not saying don't buy silver and gold, but have it shipped to like your parents' place or something like that, because it would be a lot safer there than leaving it up to chance, where you're not exactly sure who's going to be walking through that front door. And for the majority of people stacking silver and gold, you're not going to need like a huge bank vault type thing. You'll just need a nice safe will suffice. Don't cheap out on it. I'm not saying go really, really cheap. Make sure you get a quality one. But yeah, make sure it's a decent size, and you can look at how you're going to be storing your precious metals, whether it's like a monster box or things like that. Just look at dimensions, make sure everything is going to fit, and then buy the safe. So that will be a good start to you getting your stack started, is having a nice, safe, secure place to store it. So yeah, once you've found that nice secure spot to put all of your precious metals, then the next thing would be checking out where you can be picking them up. And there's plenty of options online. There's plenty of online bullion dealers that we all know of, like the APMEX, JM Bullion, SD. I live up in Canada. I use Silver Gold Bull a lot. TD Precious Metals is another one that I use. And there's a few other little coin shops up here online that I'm not sure ship to the States, but I use a few, and they're a very good option. They're not going to be the best prices that you're going to be seeing. You're going to be paying You'll be paying a little bit extra if you use credit card on there, and in some cases there are some shipping. So it's the easiest way to do it, where a couple of clicks and it gets sent right to your door, but you won't be necessarily paying the best prices. And another thing that you can do online is peer-to-peer. They do have plenty of places like on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube as well. They have auctions all the time with coins. That's another place where you can be looking at picking up silver. And like I said, with the silver stacking community, it doesn't hurt to ask. You can always, if you see a certain price, you can say, hey, if I pick up 5, can you do it for this price? Give it a chance. The worst they can say is no, you know what I mean? But the old tried, test, and true is just going to a local coin shop, you know what I mean? Wouldn't necessarily suggest going to a pawn shop, because pawn shops are more looking for rubes that don't really know what they're doing when they're selling, and obviously when they're buying as well, because some of these prices are going to be inflated. So if you go in there talking about spot price and this and that, they're not going to be too inclined to sell you, because they're not going to be getting the best deal compared to somebody that's, ooh, something shiny, and they just pick it up and they'll be able to charge a 300% markup on it or whatever, you know what I mean? They're more looking for the rubes. If you go into a local coin shop, then you'll have a better shot at forming a relationship with the owner, and coming back for repeat businesses, buying and selling with them. So definitely look for a local coin shop if you have one, and try and get a good relationship with the owner, because he'll be able to help you out with if you're dealing with him, you don't want to be picking up a lot of stuff that he doesn't want. If he buys stuff back from you and it's under spot that he's giving you, and he's saying, well, the stuff that you're selling in stays on the shelves a lot, not a lot of people pick it up, there's not a lot of demand for this product, so I can't be giving you as much as I would give you for, say, like an American Silver Eagle, if you're just coming in with like a tube of generic silver that is harder to move than some of the more popular things. So you're going to want to get some information from him. You're going to want to get in good with him, and it might help with your prices. He might knock off a percentage point here or half a percentage point over spot when you're buying, or he might give you a better deal on junk silver. Whatever it is, it can't hurt to form a good relationship with at least one local coin shop owner. Up here in Canada, in Toronto, stuff has been closed down way too much for me to form any sort of relationship with a local coin shop owner. With everything being shut down, there's still restrictions up here. They actually just shut down again. They went into another restriction up here in Toronto. So any coin shops that are around me, the best that they have is curbside pickup. You know what I mean? You can't even go into the store to strike up a conversation. You're going to be rolling up, like a bandit with a mask, and just doing the transaction at the door. It's not very personal right now. So when all this craziness up here finally subsides and gets down, I'm hoping to form a relationship with at least a couple of local coin shops. But doing it over the phone and emailing back and forth with them, it's not very personal, you know what I mean? I'd rather get in there, look around, browse for an hour or two, strike up a conversation. That's a really good way to get in good with a local coin shop owner, is just go there, browse, buy some things, be nice, and that will benefit you in the long run. And he'll know what you're looking for. Say a tube of whatever you're looking for just walked in the door. He's not going to put it out on display. He'll just put it off to the side for you, give you a phone call, and you pop in a couple of days and pick it up. So those are two things that you need to be looking at and considering when starting your silver stack, is storing it and where to buy it and things like that. Now getting into the topic of price. It's not the greatest time right now as far as the price. I'm not gonna lie, it's just it's been crazy. So it wasn't really much better when I had first started back in, the spring of 2020. The premiums were crazy. Things were going through the roof. All stuff was happening. Stuff was hitting the fan, things like that. And it started to get a little bit better by the end of the year. The premiums gap started to close that little bit, and the prices started to get back to a relative normal, or normal as compared to what I was hearing in some of these older stacking channels. Normal to me was these awful premiums because I had just started, but it was good to see it start to relax and the premiums go down a little bit. But now right into 2021 is right back up, and there's no real end in sight for that stuff. So unfortunately, you're just going to have to bite the bullet if you're looking at getting into silver stacking. You're just going to have to set your budget and cost dollar average. What I mean by that is, say your budget is $300 every 2 weeks, $300 every 2 weeks. You're not going to get to that second week on the Friday when you're ready to pay and look at the spot price and say, oh, I don't know, spot price is up 30 cents. I might just wait a couple of days. The dollar cost averaging is spending a certain amount at a certain time, no matter what. And over the long run, everything will average out to a decent price. So if you're sitting there waiting and looking at the spot price and not pulling the trigger because it's up 20 cents, that's not really what this is. This is, you're basically throwing the spot price out the window and not focusing on it, and just picking things up at the same time, at the same price, and just going forward that way. Now, obviously, if something happens and it's something, catastrophic happens, and the spot price shoots up 300% or whatever it is, just using this as a hypothetical just to prove a point, maybe you'd pump the brakes on your cost dollar average. You know what I mean? You wouldn't be, if overnight it went up 100% and the next day you were supposed to be buying, I can understand holding off. So yeah, dollar cost averaging is a good way to start your stack and picking up silver. And you're going to want to make sure that you have a budget to go along with that, because with the premiums associated with all this stuff, let's say you buy a coin and it gets in your hand, you're still going to be in the red because of that premium, and it's going to take a little bit to make that up. And you're going to want to make sure that you're not not going to have money tied up in that stuff that you need, and you're going to need to sell this at a deficit to get some of that money back. So you're going to want to make sure that you have food, bills, basics, necessities, all that stuff covered before you start looking at picking up this stuff. So if you can only afford $100 a week, then that's what you can afford. So set your budget, do it for, let's say, 2 months, and then reassess. Let's just say, this bill payment is done now, or I'm done with this 4-month payment plan that I had for, a dentist appointment or whatever it was. Let's just say money loosened up or came available to you, then you can reset your budget. You can go from $100 every week to $300 every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So yeah, set your budget and everything like that. Set a time too. Set like a 3-month period of, this is where I'm going to be picking up $300 every 2 weeks of metals. And then once that period's up, reassess. Just say, okay, things are a little tight, I might have to go back a little bit, or you can expand. It's not set in stone, or at least it shouldn't be set in stone, your budget. You should always be looking to see if you need to go down or go up. So always be paying attention to your budget and how it's affecting other things in your life. You know what I mean? If you needed to hold off on your mortgage payment for the next paycheck to come in, you might need to lower your budget a little bit. And the next thing with getting started is what you're going to buy. You know what I mean? You have a lot of options as to what you're going to buy. A lot of people, they just stick with coins. They just stick with the sovereign nation government-backed coins. Obviously, we know this is an American Silver Eagle. There's the Canadian Maple Leafs, the Austrian Philharmonics, the Australian Kangaroos. I got a reverse proof maple here. You got your Libertads. We all know that there's a bunch of coins, and the coins have a dollar denomination on there. This is a $5 Canadian coin. So you could actually spend this for $5. I wouldn't, but it does have that denomination there. Obviously, the silver value is way more valuable than the dollar value of this, but it is a coin. It is backed by the government of Canada. And the second way is, generics. There are plenty of ways you can pick up generics. There are rounds that you can get. That's a 2-ounce round. There are bars, both pressed and hand poured, that you can pick up. And it's going to be a little bit cheaper than the coins, but there's a little bit of a trade-off there with the rounds and the coins. The coins, it's good obviously because it's that government minted and things like that. But the premiums on them are going to be that little bit higher than your generic rounds. But another thing with the generic rounds is they're a lot more likely to be fake, you know what I mean? With a lot of these sovereign nation coins, they have really, cutting edge technology, and the security features that they're adding on these new coins are like second to none. They're really, really good, and it's very, very hard for these new sovereign nation coins to be counterfeited. And it's a lot easier to be counterfeiting these generics because it's they don't have that technology in it, so they can just keep pumping out these fake rounds, and unfortunately it's going to fall on the people that don't know any better, the people that are just getting into it. So you have to make sure that you're buying from reputable places, you're buying from places that you trust. If you do want to buy online, like an eBay or whatever like that, I would stick with the coins, and I would make sure to read every single seller's ratings and their reviews to make sure that they are legitimate and they're not peddling fake stuff. You can see someone, if they have a 99% review, and you look at some of their negative reviews, some of it could be like, oh, shipping took too long, or the package was damaged. That stuff's not great, but it's not reviews like, this guy sent me a fake Morgan dollar, this guy sent me a fake Johnson Matthey bar. So you're going to want to make sure that you're reading people's reviews and making sure you're not going to get burned on fake stuff. For me, I stack both. I like getting both coins and rounds. I know some people are exclusive to coins, think generics are a waste of time, they don't want anything to do with that, they want stuff that's government backed. That's fine, you stack what you want. I'm not here to say what the best way to stack is. I'm just giving some options as to getting your stack started and some of the ways that you can be doing that. And so for me personally, I like to be getting both generics and the coins. But if you're first starting out and you want to be getting some stuff for the cheapest that you can, then that would be the generic route. Generics, you'll be finding the better price overall than the coins. Those coins, like I said, will be having a higher premium on them. But yeah, that's it for me today. I just wanted to do this quick video on getting your silver stack started and some of the things that you should consider. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if this helped. I do know that a lot of the people that watch my channels have been stacking for a bit, but looking at looking at the analytics on the channel, there are still quite a few people that are new watching the channel, and I'm hoping that this will help. And let me know in the comments if it did. So thank you again for watching, and I hope you come back for the next one. Thank you.